This video is brought to you by Sportsman's Guide. If you like camping, hunting, shooting, wearing clothes, and being all around awesome, check out sportsmansguide.com to see how you can start saving. All right, what's happening, folks? I'm down in Mississippi, and I am joining the famous Craig Douglas, Jedi Master of all things gun and knife. We're doing some training, and I'm attending as a student. So this is what he calls his ECQC course. That's Extreme Close Quarters Concepts. And basically, it's kind of 3 yards and in, gunfighting stuff, lots of stuff fighting from entanglements, whether knives, guns are introduced, or it's just kind of wrestling, boxing stuff, inside vehicles. He's got all kinds of points of specialization. So anyway, to prepare, I've got my my orange gun in this case, so we're going to be doing some stuff with that, some fighting. The very first part's going to be on the range, so we're going to be shooting stuff, some close-in retention stuff. So I've got my ear pro, lots of bullets and magazines, and preparing for the latter part of the course, which is very hands-on fighting stuff. You're going to see me get beat up a good bit. So in preparation, I've got my headgear, I've got my mouthpiece stuff, and most importantly, in my opinion, for a Craig Douglas class, is Ranger Candy. That's ibuprofen. This is going to get you through it. More than anything else, you probably don't even need guns and stuff. It's drugs, especially if you're getting a little bit older. So anyway, I'm pumped. I'm ready to go, and you're going to learn a lot from Craig Douglas of ShivWorks. Again, this is ECQC, an incredible class, and you're going to benefit from it, as am I. So without further ado, we'll jump in.
So let's look at historically the problem itself, right? We're talking about a within arm's reach, inside the wingspan shooting problem. Whether here I elect to draw the pistol, or perhaps I've been crashed with the gun in hand. So one of the key elements here is that there's a lot of forward pressure. Now historically, when this problem was looked at in live fire before the advent of marking cartridges and before guys had sim and retrofit kits on their pistols, you saw solutions like the Speed Rock, okay? Solutions where on a range, kind of like we are now, you would see guys do things like quickly draw the pistol, bow their hips, okay, and try and get around somewhere on a large B-27, okay? The placement was inconsistent, and the most non-consensual and uncooperative the target became historically in the training modality was when a staple busted on the paper and it flapped at you in the wind. That's the most pressure that technique was validated under, okay?
Sounds intense.
Yeah, quite. So, not really representative of what we're seeing on the street. We saw later iterations where guys would get the gun back a little bit further, and they would try and do things like turn the gun outboard and index the mag well, almost like they're chambered for like an old reverse punch or something like that. I've seen solutions where both hands are on the gun, and none of these solutions really, when I started examining this problem in earnest, late 1998, when I came out of undercover work, and started taking the marking cartridges, adding the pressure, really going after each other, most of these solutions that were range-based kind of fell apart. So we had a laboratory, probably of about 3 years of Fight Club, where we pressure tested every possible permutation of where the gun should be, the best way it can work, how to get rounds consistently and accurately in a person, not send them off into the public, and not shoot yourself. This is what I came up with. So we're going to use a position we call a thumb pectoral index. So this is a retention position. Retention meaning I'm trying to retain the gun. Conditions are inside the wingspan and there's forward pressure, okay? We have a good wrestling base, so we're nose over toes, we're hips square. When we establish grip on this pistol, when it comes out of the holster, one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to flag your thumb just like you're hitchhiking, okay? The flag thumb is an important part of this technique working. So flagger thumb. So go ahead and draw your inert pistol. You're gonna leave that that thumb flag just like so. We're gonna attach the flag thumb to the side of the pectoral muscle. Now you'll notice this position is very, very high. Okay. Compared to being down by your hip or being by your rib, this position is really high. When you think about drawing up to or back to you, you may be trying to get over something, okay, or get the gun back. Remember, we're fighting inside the wingspan, so I'm trying to keep the gun as far back from you as possible. So I need as much space within this as I could possibly get. So this high position here, okay, versus here or here or here allows me much better shot placement for the downward angle that I'm going to give you, which is really important, okay? So thumb pectoral index. Now, if I were to draw this pistol after I attach the thumb pectoral index, and I were to drop my elbow, perhaps as I'm trying to keep your hands away from the gun, perhaps as you're rocking me back on my heels, obviously we see problems here, okay? If I were to roll the gun outboard, okay, and index the magazine base pad on my rib, notice that the pistol is offset from your body by the height of the gun.
Yeah.
For me to get rounds on you, I have to either break my index, okay, and get the gun actually closer to your hand, or I have to turn my hips towards you, which tends to cross your center line, and that's when you see a lot of people get run over because they have poor posture, okay? So we don't want to do that either. So if we're going to actually shoot and hit somebody with a lot of pressure that doesn't want to be shot, that's trying to run over us, we got to do better than just get it back here somewhere, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to eliminate the wrist as a variable. We're going to lock the hand and the forearm in a straight line. And what I'm looking to do here is I'm looking to eliminate any kind of upward, downward, inboard, or outboard canting of the gun. So we have a locked hand and forearm via the wrist. When we attach the thumb pectoral, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive my elbow back as far and as high as I can. And what you'll notice is that puts a downward angle on that muzzle, keeping these outgoing rounds well away from where this hand is doing its good work. Okay, so I have to deconflict what this hand is doing actively and with these outgoing rounds. All right, so we have a locked wrist, a high elbow, and a flagged thumb.
Is this thumb kind of pushing on my tip there?
So from the tip to the base, and you want to feel the thick part of the turkey wing, all of that right here. What that does is that provides standoff for this slide to freely reciprocate around armor, pouches, your clothes, or what have you. That's what you're looking for. So you look for solid contact from the tip to the base, just like so. I want you to jack this elbow back as far as you can. Now that feels binding and uncomfortable, doesn't it?
Yes.
That's exactly how it's supposed to feel.
Okay.
Okay. So if it feels really binding and uncomfortable, more than likely you're doing this correctly. All right. So that's what you should feel, is a thick knotted ball of muscle right back here in your trapezius, right back here in your scapula. Okay. That's a good kinesthetic cue that lets you know, bam, I've hit my proper angle. Okay. This is what's going to give us the consistency when we're semi-conscious or we've been stabbed and I'm panicked and trying to get that gun out. Feeling that and feeling all these little kinesthetic triggers that I'm giving you, that's what's going to give you the confidence to know I've got my angle, I can hit him, I'm not going to send one off into the public, I'm not wondering whether I'm going to shoot myself in this mad tangle of limbs. Okay? So locked wrist, high elbow, flagged thumb. That's what we're looking for, just like so. So just get, you know what, just get some reps right there, just for right now. Just kind of let that feel in. Good. Good. There's a right way and a wrong way to do this. The right way is to take you through a progression of crawl, walk, run. Okay? I have a series of 4 drills to get you to the point where you're drawing and firing in one motion from the holster. Okay, so let's look at the first drill. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk myself through this drill, and I'm going to live fire it as I'm explaining the drill to you so you can hear the sequence of range commands. So the drill is going to start off with you simulating a clinch. So your forehead is going to be on the target, just like so. Okay. Now, we're going to start off here. You're going to be in the holster. I'm going to give you a preparatory command of 1. When I say 1, you're going to establish grip on the gun. You're going to flatten the support hand against your chest. We're not going to do anything with this hand right now. We're going to isolate this position in live fire. Okay. I'm then going to say 2. When I say 2, you will draw the gun back to a thumb pectoral index. I will then say, check your support hand. I want you to look down at your support hand and make sure you're not doing something weird or wonky with that support hand, and it's well behind the muzzle. I will then say, check your muzzle line. I want you to look at the line from the muzzle to the target and make sure there's no part of you or your equipment that's in the way. I will then say, fire. You will fire that round. I'll then say, holster, and you will holster the gun. 1, establish grip, flatten that hand. 2, draw the gun back to the thumb pectoral index. Check your support hand, look at it, make sure it's flat. Check your muzzle line. Fire. Holster. Nicely done. Ready? 1, 2. Check your support hand. Check your muzzle line. Fire. Holster. Second iteration of the thumb pectoral development series. Okay, again, sequence of range commands follows. Ready, 1, 2, fire, holster. I'm only removing the reminders of your support hand and your muzzle line. Things should be pretty dialed in. All right, ready, 1, 2, fire. 1, 2, fire. Holster. Exceptionally good work, okay? I mean, every single, so we got 20 rounds here inside of 1.5 inches. Every single time, 20 different draws. You know, you got to reload in there in between, so that's exceptionally good work. So, absolutely. All right, third iteration of the drill, okay? What we're going to do is combine the 1 and the 2 count in one command. That command's going to be draw. I'm still going to give you a separate fire command and a separate holster command, okay? So sequence of range commands for this third iteration follows. Ready, draw, fire, holster. Ready, draw, fire, holster.
I felt myself not quite get all the way up. I readjusted and
Yep, that's why I do this third drill right there, because a lot of times it's not quite dialed in yet. Ready, draw, jack it back, there you go. Fire, holster. So, last iteration of drill in the thumb pectoral development series, okay, is we're going to combine the draw and the fire command. So, sequence of range commands follows. Ready, draw, holster. Now that this angle is consistent after 30 rounds, now that all your body parts out of the way, I'll allow you in one motion to draw and take that shot. Draw. Holster. Ready. Draw. Holster. Feel that angle lock in every time. Ready. Draw. So I think about all retention shooting from the downward angle as diminishment. It's a way for me to diminish him so I can exit, get to my sights, and improve the shot placement. We have a drill to do that I call the step drill, and this is nothing more than a way to walk before we run, and I'll let you do this on your own. This is a pretty critical moment here, and it's important that we get a lot of good rehearsal and a lot of good reps. So we're going to start this drill with the same drill we just ended with on the last iteration of the thumb pectoral development series, okay? And we know what that looks like. So you start, good posture, good wrestling posture, forehead on the cardboard. I'm going to give you a preparatory command of ready, followed by a command of execution of draw. When I say that, you'll draw, you'll take that shot just like you did. Hand is still here, all right? So from here, ready, draw. All right, now, let's say that shot were to have some effect. What I mean by that is you felt like after that shot you could make a safe exit, or he starts moving back away from you. Either way, range is opening between you and the adversary, okay? Let's say not by much, okay? Let's say, yeah, probably right about here. Now, where am I at? I am still close enough to touch him, and he's close enough to touch me. So we still need to be at a good thumb pectoral index, okay? We don't need to shift that position when we're inside the wingspan. So, look at my downward angle, nothing's changed. Can I still hit him from here? Yeah, absolutely I can still hit him from here. Now, let's say a little bit more space were to open. From here, maybe I'm moving, maybe he's moving. I'm kind of outside of this position being viable. However, if this guy still has any fight in him and he's turned into me, probably the last thing I want to do in this moment is extend to my sights. So, what are we looking at? We're looking at an appropriate level of extension. And probably what's appropriate is what we would think of probably right around a 3. I've got 2 hands on the gun. The gun is high, the slide is level, okay? I'm not on my sights, however, the gun is visually referenced to the target, so I'm not point shooting here, okay? I can see the gun in the bottom edge of the foveal cone, my cone of vision. I can relate the gun to the target. So with this appropriate level of extension, which is outside of his hand reach, with that level of visual referencing, can I make a reasonably good hit? Surely I can make a good hit, okay? Let's say a little bit more space were to open. Not quite on my sights, but I can probably see the post floating above the notch. Can I make a reasonably good hit? Of course I can. And probably one more step, I should be equal to, okay? So that's the idea behind the drill, is that at no point when I'm exiting or he's moving away am I thrusting my gun into his flailing hands, okay? That's the idea of appropriate extension based on proximity of threat, how close or how far away he is, okay? So here's how we're going to train this in live fire. We're going to start off, I'm going to give you a preparatory command of ready, followed by a command of execution of draw. You'll draw, you'll take that shot just like you did. I'm then going to give you the command to step. Step is the command for you to move once and shoot once, extending the gun appropriately. And we're going to do that 4 more times until you're roughly on your sights or your dot. Okay? That should get you to roughly full extension. So each iteration of the drill is a total of 5 rounds. 1 from the thumb pectoral and 4 more extended appropriately. What I'm looking for here is when you drive the gun, I want you to keep your shoulders engaged and keep them high, okay? Even though you're not on your sights, the more you raise your shoulders, the more it pushes the gun up into the eye line, and the more accurate the shooting's going to be despite not being on your dot, okay? We still have a lot of visual referencing of the pistol, okay? So the drill should look like this from here. Ready, draw. Step, 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 holster. Very simple drill. Now, the other thing I want you to be mindful of in this drill is what's going on with this hand. We're going to establish a rule. What I had you do in the thumb pectoral development series was I had you post that hand flat. We're going to have a rule that we're going to abide by from this point forward, and that is we only collect the pistol from that flat hand on the chest parking spot, okay? We don't, under any circumstances, want to, because this hand at some point is going to be active. It's not active right now, but at some point you're going to be fending, moving, arm dragging, doing duck unders and things like that. So when you're coming out of his hand, being ahead of the muzzle, despite the downward angle, the last thing we want to do is collect the pistol this way. There have been a bunch of cases of law enforcement officers shooting themselves in the hand. So the flat hand parking spot on the chest mitigates that quite a bit. So when we're here, all right, do not do this, okay? Make sure this hand is only collecting off the chest, always collecting behind the muzzle. Always collecting behind the muzzle, all right? So, sequence of range commands: ready, draw, step, 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 holster, then I'll walk you back forward. We're going to do that 4 times. Each iteration of the drill is 5 rounds, so that's a total of 20 rounds for this step series. Okay?
Should be ready, draw, shot, step, step.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So look just like this. Once again, ready, draw, step, 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 ready, draw, step, 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 holster, ready, draw, step, 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 holster, draw, step, step, draw, step, 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 and step, holster. Nicely done. All right, Sean. Good. Let's get some more ammo, and then we'll put it all together in one fell swoop. And I'm going to have you make that shot and then exit on your own. Okay? Draw. Nicely. Draw. Draw. Nicely done. Great support hand work. Really like that you're keeping that there. You're not floating it ahead. Excellent work, okay? Shot show it. Everything's really, really tight. You know, you got a couple that are, you know.
How much of this is the sway of my body
I think
left
that,
and right?
yeah, there's a little bit of that.
So,
2 topic areas we've covered: the thumb pectoral index and the idea of appropriate extension based on proximity threat, or appropriate compression. That can be interpreted also as me having a pistol at an extended position and you closing on me so the pistol is compressing, or this could be interpreted as me closing in on you, all right, doing something aggressive. I had to pull through you, that kind of thing. So now we're sort of looking at last topic area of the day is what we think of as a fending position. What does that mean, a fending position? I'm doing something now active with the support hand while holding the gun. Now, I'm going to have you draw into these fending positions. But here's what's really important to understand. Drawing into a fending position is not how they're actually used. That's strictly a way to train the offhand in live fire. So let's think about this just for a second. I'm sure we've seen plenty of social media videos of a guy with a relatively life-size target standing there waiting, and he does something with his hand, draws the gun, shoots it, and exits. Okay, and if they're exciting to watch. So if we think about the applicability of that, short of a homie, where's my briefcase kind of deal, that's really probably not a plausible scenario. What is more plausible is that I've been assaulted, okay, and I've had to manage that moment. I've had to stay on my feet. I've had to stay conscious. I might very well be stuck in a clinch. I might see a second guy who's getting ready to plug himself in. I might realize, shit, I've been stabbed, that kind of thing. But nonetheless, I've established some kind of position of control, which we're going to do later this afternoon with our wrestling. If I were to be here and concede control of your limbs to do something with this hand, this really violates what we think of as good timing of an entangled presentation, because those limbs are under control, right? Okay? So, fending positions generally are not things that are drawn into. Here's where they do come out. Maybe after I've achieved good timing from my wrestling, I've managed to get an arm drag on you, I've drawn this, popped you a time or 5, and then on exit, maybe you take a poke at me. That's where you need a fending position, okay? So I'm going to teach you, there are all kinds of things that you can do with the support hand. I'm going to give you 2 fending positions because we're going to use those in conjunction later to form a head cover when we start doing sucker punch drills. What we're going to do are called elbow shields, and I teach 2 of them. We have a vertical elbow shield, So I'm doing this while I'm holding the pistol. And then we have a horizontal elbow shield. So I'm doing this while holding the pistol back at my retention position, my thumb pectoral index. So let's think about where you use both. When you do a vertical elbow shield, what you're going to do is you're going to pull the forearm to the bicep, and you're going to post the bicep to the cheekbone. You're going to raise your shoulder and grab the back of your head. Notice what I'm doing here is I'm trying to pinch everything off, just like so. This is what you're looking at with a vertical elbow shield. What is this? This is a way to cover your head from a blow while holding the gun. And I tend to think about the vertical elbow shield as a defensive move. An example of application would be something like, I got an arm drag on you, managed to shoot you a couple of times, misjudged how much you were diminished, and on exit, you took a poke at me. That's where I need that fending position right there, so I get knocked out with a gun. Okay? So I tend to think about the vertical elbow shield defensively. The horizontal elbow shield, and when you do this when holding gun, here's the way I want you to do this. There are all kind of variations of this position. This is how I like to teach it. You take the tips of your fingers, kind of like you're making a knife hand, right, doing one of those. You're going to touch the opposite shoulder, roll the shoulder over where it's centered, and get the elbow right in front of your nose. Tuck your chin behind your shoulder, so it's kind of like Dracula looking over its cave, okay, just like so. You want to extend the shoulder out of the socket and project that forward. This makes this really, really, really strong, okay? So I'm looking over, my shoulder's up, my traps are engaged, and basically what this is an offensive battering ram and a way for me to smash through things while holding the pistol. Targets to hit people with: sternum, face, obviously anything around here is golden, okay? So I want my body mass behind the center of that elbow, just like so. Vertical elbow shield, protecting your head. Ready, draw. Fire. Holster, draw. Nicely done. Vertical elbow shield, ready, draw.
All right.
Horizontal elbow shield, ready, draw. Holster, draw. Holster. We're going to do the step drill now. We're going to do this drill, but now we're going to step our way back. Step just like before is the command for you to move once and shoot once. The difference now is you're collecting the pistol coming out of an active fending position. It's not just parked here, okay? So we're going to do 3 times vertical and 3 times horizontal. That's 5 rounds per iteration. That's a total of 30 rounds. Do you have 30 rounds in your body? No. Go get it. Vertical elbow shield, protecting your head. Ready, draw. Step, 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 step. Horizontal elbow shield, ready, draw. Step, 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 holster. Really nice transition. Folding that hand flat down and keeping it behind the muzzle. Incredibly important. Nicely done. Horizontal elbow shield. Ready, draw. Step, 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 step. Holster. Step drill's done. Last thing to do is I'm going to let you do it on your own. Again, we'll do 3 times vertical, 3 times horizontal. So now I'm going to call the shield that I want you to draw into, vertical or horizontal. I'll say ready, draw. You'll draw into that shield, break your first shot, and then 4 more on your own as you move to your dot. All right. Vertical elbow shield, protecting your head, exiting that clench. Ready, draw. Vertical elbow shield, ready, draw. Ready, draw. Horizontal elbow shield, ready, draw. Talk about where we're at. So 3 topic areas we've covered today in live fire on the range for your private ECQC. Topic area number 1, the thumb pectoral index. Topic area number 2, the idea of appropriate extension based on proximity of threat. Topic area number 3, 2 fending positions and how to collect the pistol out of them coming into two-handed shooting safely without putting a round in yourself. These are all topic areas that are going to come out here shortly when you have a body and we have marking cartridges and we have pressure, and they all represent failure points. Any questions on anything we've done as far as what or why?
No.
All right, guys. See you back in the gym.
All right, folks, that's the video. Could I get your help? Hit like, hit subscribe, the notifications bell, and leave a comment below because it means a lot to this guy. Anyway, Sportsman's Guide, thanks so much for sponsoring this video. And all of you at home, train hard, train smart, and we'll see you next time.